All right, so this video is for those who are interested in strengthening their belief in whatever it is that you desire to create, whether it's in the relationship category, a romantic partner, a best friend, or maybe it's in the realm of money, because in our day of age, it seems to be that a lot of people are interested and desire to have more money in their life, or maybe it's in your health and well-being. But if you landed on this video, it is most likely that you already know that in order to create anything that you desire, it's really important for you to have belief and confidence and faith and trust that whatever it is that you desire will actually come to you. So this video isn't a conversation about belief. It's a very practical guide to strengthening belief. So I have a formula that I have developed over my 15 years of coaching and consulting. And so I'm going to give that formula to you because it's easier for people to have something that they can go to on a regular basis, because strengthening belief for a lot of people is very abstract and nebulous. And so I wanted to make it easy for myself, easy for my clients. And so let's get right into it. Okay, so step one is to identify that which you desire. And I know it sounds simple, and it actually is, but it's really surprising to me how many people, when I ask them, what is it that you want, that one of two things either happens. One, they either have no clue what it is that they desire, or two, they're so general about what it is that they want. And my sense of it is, from all the experience that I've had in doing this work, is that most people are so captured, their attention is captured by what it is that they don't have in their life and what they are lacking, that they fail to even realize that they haven't taken the time to identify what it is that they want. And of course, I'm sure you could see the problem in that. Or two, what they want, they define it in a very general way. And that is also a problem for a number of reasons. And I'll use the metaphor of going to place an order at McDonald's or a fast food restaurant to illustrate why there's a problem when you are being very general about what it is that you desire. So you go into a fast food restaurant and you want hamburger and fries, and you place an order with the server and tell them, I want a hamburger and fries. Out comes the hamburger and fries. The hamburger has pickles, onions, mustard, and cheese and lettuce on it. But you don't actually like cheese, maybe, or lettuce or onions or mustard, and maybe you just wanted a hamburger with ketchup on it. But because you were so general in ordering the way in which you did, by telling the server, I just want hamburger and fries, you didn't get what you wanted. And instead, if you were to go in there and say, hey, I want a hamburger with just ketchup on it and nothing else, and fries with a little bit of salt, that level of detail enables you to actually get what you want. So same goes for anything that you desire in life. And consider the universe, if you will, to be your server. And in order for you to get what you want, you have to place that order in as much detail as possible. So let's say you want a romantic partner. Well, when you place that order to the universe, you want to be very specific about what type of romantic partner you want. Maybe you want a romantic partner that loves to play video games, a romantic partner that loves to cook, a partner that loves to go on dates once a week. Whatever that is that you desire, write it down in as much detail as possible. And that's the other thing. When you sit and think about what it is that you want, thinking about it is one thing because you're just giving attention to it, which is really important. But when you write it down, it takes the energy of that thought and brings that energy into a physical form through the act of writing. And when I'm saying writing, I'm not saying writing on a keyboard on a computer or your phone or something like that, right? Which is also helpful because you are also bringing it into physical form. But actually taking a pen to paper, there is a somatic process, a connection from the brain into your fingers and delivering that out to paper that has much more power than writing on a keyboard. So, step one, identifying what it is that you desire, doing that in as much detail as possible, and then writing what it is that you desire on paper in detail. That is step number one. Okay. Step number two is to rate your level of belief in getting that thing that you desire. And you want to use a scale between 1 and 10 or 1 and 5. It really doesn't matter. Just create a scale. And 1 can be that you have little to no belief that you're going to get the thing that you desire, and 10 being you are in full 100% knowing and have all the confidence in the world that you're going to get what you desire. Now, the purpose of doing this is because you need to be clear of where you are on that scale of belief. And I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you're probably someone who is a little bit older and you've had the experience of acquiring things and achieving certain things in your life and when you look back at those times where you've achieved what you've wanted, you can go back and dissect the level of belief that you had in getting that thing, or maybe the lack of belief that you've had in getting that thing, so then you never got it. But I'm sure you've had those moments where you just knew that you were going to get that thing, and then there it was, and it manifested or you attracted it into your life. So, of course, I'm saying this because your level of belief matters, and not just level of belief, but the ability to have a belief that is essentially a knowing that you're going to get what you want is where you want to be. It's the optimal state of being in order to create that which you desire. So this whole process is designed to strengthen your belief so you get into that space, into that mindset of knowing that the thing that you desire is going to happen. It is yours. Okay. So by putting it on the scale, you can now measure where you're at, and anything you measure now has the ability to grow because you can dissect and look at where you are lacking in anything that you are measuring, or you can tweak whatever is needing to be tweaked in order for you to get to where you want to go. So this is the importance of rating your level of belief. So let's say you are at a 5, okay? Once you rate your level of belief, step number 3 in this process is to ask yourself, what are the stories? What are the beliefs and the narratives or the ideas that you are holding that keep you from being a 10, that keep you from being essentially in full 100% belief and knowing that you're going to get what you desire? Okay? So after measuring and rating where you are, you're going to take the time to self-reflect and introspect and just be honest with yourself, because it does no good to actually be dishonest in this practice. It's not going to help you strengthen your belief. And so after you rate it and you sit down to self-reflect on why it is that you aren't a 10, there are going to be some thoughts that come up. And same thing as you did in step 1, you're going to write down what those thoughts are in terms of the stories and narratives and thoughts and maybe emotions that you are holding that are keeping you from being a 10, from being in full 100% belief. Because in order to strengthen that belief, you have to know what are the things that are, or the thoughts, I should say, and beliefs that are keeping you from being a 10. And so that's a good segue into the last step of this process, which step number 4 is to go through the process of integrating and letting go of whatever you were able to identify as the thoughts, stories, ideas, and beliefs that you're holding that are keeping you from being a 10. And there are so many different ways to do this. I'm going to give you one of the most effective, easiest ways to integrate and let go of whatever beliefs or stories, mechanisms that you identify. And what that requires you to do is to be, number one, self-aware. Because when you start to think about the thing that you desire, what's likely to happen is that these thoughts, let's call them your limiting beliefs, I like to call them your mechanisms get triggered, okay? These are the thoughts, stories, beliefs that are in your consciousness that have either been programmed into you or embedded into your consciousness and your mind over time. They get triggered when you start thinking about the thing that you want, and they arise in your consciousness. So you have to be self-aware when they arise because you want to be able to identify them when they're there. And the key in this is simply a matter of your attention, okay? When these mechanisms arise, when these thoughts, stories, ideas arise in you, the key is to not give them attention more than just identifying that they are there. Because a lot of people, and what keeps them from being in 100% belief is they give so much attention to what they don't have, which is what I mentioned earlier. And where attention goes, energy flows. So when you're giving something attention, you're giving it energy. Energy is giving it life, is giving it the food that it needs to be there in your consciousness. And so when you have those thoughts and stories that are the limiting beliefs and the things that keep you from being in 100% belief in what you want, you identify that they're there, acknowledge that they're there, and then you take your attention away from that to what is on the other side of that mechanism, which is what you desire. And then you put your attention on what you desire. This is why it's important to do step number 1, because if you don't do step number 1 in identifying what you desire, you're most likely to stay in giving your attention to the thing that you don't want. And then the more attention you give it, the more life you give it. And then ultimately you have to experience that. The law of manifestation is that whatever you give energy to, you're going to attract more of. So when you're giving your attention and energy to the thing that you don't want, you're going to manifest experiences that reflect that. So identifying that it's there and you stop feeding it by stop giving it attention and put your attention on what it is that you do want is the process of integrating and letting go of these thoughts, stories, beliefs, and mechanisms that keep you from being a 10. And the more you do that over time, it's a practice. It's not going to happen overnight. That's really important to understand about this. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to practice, just like being a basketball player or any other athlete. You're not going to be a pro at this overnight. You cannot expect to be a LeBron James in terms of your level of skill unless you practice. And so taking the time each day to focus on what you want, and then as you're doing that, you're going to bring up the mechanisms. It's just a natural part of the process. The mechanisms are going to show themselves, identify through self-awareness that a mechanism is present. You stop giving it the attention or energy in order for it to maintain itself in your mindset, in your consciousness. Turn your attention to that which you desire, which you wrote down. You give that life because you're giving it attention. And then over time, you will see your belief increase. And as you strengthen that belief, it is only a matter of time before the thing that you desire will exist into reality. That is the 4-step process and the formula for strengthening your belief. If you got any value from anything I just shared today, like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want more content and information like this. I'm here to serve those who have ideas and visions, and they want to bring those ideas and visions into reality. That's my jam. That's what I'm passionate about. I am a midwife to those ideas and visions. I help people usher them into their experience. And this formula is part of that process. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this. Until next time, peace.